Alright guys, this first movement in our series is going to be our posterior chain roll or our backside roll. So we're going to move up and down the length of our spine here. To start, you're going to have your foam roller about a foot behind you, foot and a half. And you're going to try to lay back and get yourself in a position where your shoulder blades are resting across the roller. I'm then going to take my hands and just support my head here in a nice neutral spine and head position. From there, I'm going to put about an inch of space underneath my rear end, so just barely float my rear end off the roller here. And I'm going to start moving down in about 3-inch segments down my spine. So I'm going to take a very small, short roll. We're going to take about a minute to get all the way down as close to the base of our spine as we can. Each time I get down to a new spot, and it's not particularly uncomfortable, I'm going to try to roll another 3 inches. So my second roll there was probably about 6 inches. Now I'm rolling down to that 9 or 12-inch range. And I'm trying to get as close to my belt line, my shorts, as I possibly can by the end. Now you may run into something that's a little bit more sensitive here that's going to trigger something, a little bit of a hot spot. It may feel uncomfortable. So if you get that catch where it feels like it's challenging the pliability of your tissue, then just stop and rest at whatever level you can tolerate on that position for about 10 seconds. If you need to, you can drop your hips down to the ground or pick them up and create more tension to kind of control the temperature of how much weight you're putting onto this mobility section, right? From there, once you get down to the lowest position you can tolerate, we're going to pause, put our hips all the way on the ground, and extend open as far as we can. Now I'm not crunching at the top of this, I'm just extending as far as I can and bring myself back to that good neutral posture that we started with here. So the idea here is extending our spine, especially that upper half of your spine, as much as you can, and returning back to a neutral position. Once you've finished your 10 extensions here, we've got a couple more left, we're going to roll over to our left side. So keeping my hips on the ground, I'm just going to roll over and turn so the outside edge of my back is on the roller. And then I'm going to move from top to bottom again by lifting my hips up and pushing with my legs. This is going to be a little bit more sensitive than the middle of your spine, just because there's a little bit more muscle out here and it's a little bit more pointed pressure. Once you finish between 5 and 10 rolls out here on your left lat, you're going to go back to the middle by putting your rear end on the ground, roll over to your right, and do the same 5 to 10 rolls on that right side. Once you've taken the time to go through all of those, we'll be ready to move into our second mobility, which will be a glute smash.